What is going on, everybody? Another episode of 4x4 Camping and Adventures, and it's been a little bit of a break. I've had a bit of a couple of weeks off, but I've been busy. I've been doing stuff, and I thought I'd give you a bit of an update on where the Ranger sits as of today. Moving forward, there's a bunch of other stuff that obviously needs to happen to it to get it to where I want it to be, to go camping and touring and all that kind of cool stuff we love doing. But I'll give you a bit of an idea of some of the cool mods I've done to it so far. So first things first, let's talk about the bush wraps. So probably a big part of protecting your vehicle. If you've got a new car, it's probably the best thing you can do to any new car that's on the market, especially four-wheel drive, because we do take these things down some pretty average tracks and they get scratched to the shit house. So I went back to the advanced bush wrap kit. The girls there really looked after me once again, and I'm glad I did it earlier on this car because I've taken this down 2 tracks now, which I was like, oh, I'm glad I got the bush wraps on there. Because it would have scratched the shit out of the car. So brand new car, and I want to keep it looking good. And I went with so I've added the hood kit. So it's a bit hard to see on the camera, but there's a hood kit which does the front of the hood or the bonnet, and this obviously protects you from rocks, chips, and all that kind of stuff. So this goes on the front of the bonnet. It goes to about here, and then sort of goes in down here, and then sort of goes around like that. So it's a bit hard to see on camera because it is clear and it's a white car. But essentially sort of protects the front of your bonnet, which is pretty cool. And I did the doors, and I also did the tub. So pretty easy kit. Probably took like 2.5, 3 hours, a bit of fiddling and, you know, a bit of heat gun and all that kind of stuff. So it wasn't too bad, but yeah, no, as I said, it's probably the best thing you can do to your car to keep it really in good nick. And if you go to sell it in 5 years later or a couple of years later, whatever you're doing, it comes out really neat. So you've got pretty much perfect paint under there. So happy days. So next bit of the car, I'm going to talk about the floor mats. So these guys here are pretty much a full coverage. I'll put up a bit of B-roll there, but a full coverage floor mat, and it stops all the sand and crud and all that kind of crap getting into your carpet. Nothing actually beats a good set of floor mats. The carpet ones these cars come with are useless. They just, so much dirt and all that kind of stuff gets stuck in there. So floor mats are a must, and obviously it does the rear as well. So next piece of the puzzle, these guys. That's a pretty cool party trick. Now, Venture Canopy, it is from Maxi Linus, the same guys that did the floor mats. So I ended up getting a bunch of stuff from them. There's one more thing that I got from them, which I'll show you in the video. I got a color match. You can get this in a 2-tone, but I wasn't really keen on the 2-tone. It sort of goes black here, and I wasn't really keen on it. You saw me push that button before, so push button opening for all the doors, for all the windows, and obviously the rear window. And there's also a manual, I'll show you actually, there's a manual unlocker on this side as well. So if the power does cut out, you can still open your rear windows and all that kind of stuff. So I went with this one mainly because of a few reasons. It's 60 kilos, so it's quite lightweight. And it's obviously a fiberglass canopy, so, you know, there's no getting away from that. But internally, there's actually some beams that can support under 300 kilos of static weight. So if you're parked up, you can have 300 kilos on it, or 100 kilos of dynamic weight. Now, with that, I'm going to have the rooftop tent on there. So I've got some rails to come across here, on this piece here, some rails to go across, and I'm going to put a rooftop tent and a awning up there. My 270 from 30-second awnings is going to go up there. So with that, I'm going to be sitting around about 80 kilos. So with 80 kilos, I'll be well under the 100 kilo maximum, which is good. But you can obviously chuck 100 kilos on there. I don't want to max it out, so 80 kilos would be perfect for me. So you got 65 kilos of rooftop tent, and then I think the awning's about 15 kilos. It might be 20, but it's about 15-20 kilos. So it's in that sort of ballpark of about 80 to 85 kilos, which is a pretty safe number. So with that, I'm pretty keen to get onto the next steps of this build, which is essentially putting the rooftop tent on. So I've got the rugged rooftop to go up there, which is going to be pretty cool. I ended up talking to a fella named Josh, I think his name is, on TikTok, and he said, hey, do you want to try it out? He did one half price for me, and I was like, yeah, cool, I'll give a rooftop tent a go. And the first impressions that I got from it were pretty cool. I haven't slept in it yet, so I can't give a final, review and all that kind of stuff on what it sleeps like, what it's like to live in, and all that kind of thing. But I unboxed it, put some lights on it and did a few other things. You've probably seen my shorts and that kind of stuff on YouTube, but put some lights on and that kind of stuff, and it looks really, really neat. So really, really keen to give that a go. As I said, haven't done anything with it yet, so I can't give you a full-fledged review on it, but first impressions look pretty good. So that's going to sit up here. It's going to go to about here. So it's going to just sneak over the roof a little bit because it is 2 meters long. But that's going to fit on there perfectly. It's going to be nice and low line to this, so I'm not going to have, you know, a big gap or anything like that. And yeah, the whole thing's going to look absolutely Mickey Mouse, I think. So it's going to really complement the car really well. And I've got the 4 lights from Vic Off-Road on the front there that I bought, and they're just my 4 spotties that I'm going to use, because obviously I'm not going to go a bull bar on this car, mainly for weight, but I'm not going to go a bull bar, so I can't really fit 4 spotties here, so I'm going to fit 4 spotties up there. So they're mainly going to be for off-road use anyway, because really the lights in these cars, kind of like the Patrol, they're LED, they're bloody awesome. So I don't really need the spotties going down the highway. I don't do the big runs in the outback and that kind of stuff at night time, so I'm not needing it. So they're mainly going to be for off-road use only, but they're going to go up the top there, so you're going to have 4 lights just up here. That'll be pretty cool. And oh yeah, let me show you the last thing. So the last thing I want to show you is pretty cool. So in here we've got a soft close tailgate. So with that, obviously, as you can see, takes all the weight off. It's got a little gas strut here, which just essentially just takes the weight off and makes it soft close, so the thing just doesn't go bang and close down. Ford, with these Rangers anyway, and I think the early or the later on PX3 models and that kind of stuff, they put a little bar in here to actually make this quite lightweight. But yeah, obviously that just takes away all that harshness when the thing drops, obviously. And I have dropped it a couple of times, being I haven't had a ute for a while, and I've just sort of opened it and it's just fallen out, so I end up getting the gas strut dampener. And as I said, inside here, huge space to work with, and obviously, you know, there's going to be something in there that I'm going to do. So there's plenty of cool stuff that's going to be happening in here, but that's all in the sort of all in the thinking stage at the moment. I just want to get this really well done right. Don't have to do it again, kind of like the Patrol. I made one modification to that, actually. I'll be honest, I made one modification to the Patrol, but I kind of want to do this once and get it done right and just have everything neat and tidy in there, just perfect. So there's some pretty cool stuff that's going to work with these windows on the side happening in the back of this car, so keep an eye out for that video sometime in the future. And that's pretty much it. So let me go through it. Bush wraps, got the bush wraps on there. I've got the canopy on there now. I've got the floor mats and that kind of stuff are all done, and I've got the dampener on the back. Now, some mods to come in the next couple of weeks, actually. So I've got a full 12-volt system on this way. That's going to be delivered hopefully next week, and I've got a full 12-volt install video that I'm going to make and do the whole thing from top to bottom, so you guys can actually learn how to do a 12-volt install if you haven't done it before, and give you guys maybe a few tips and tricks and that kind of stuff along the way. The whole system is going to get put behind the seat. I'm going to make a custom enclosure and that kind of stuff for it. It's going to be pretty cool. I'm really excited to get into it, because as I said, with this car, it's all about DIY. We end up putting the canopy on ourselves, all that kind of stuff. Like, the whole thing's hasn't been, I'll say that, it's been to a workshop, but I had to use Reese's workshop because he's got more space than my shed. But, and obviously shout out to Reese at Southwest Mechanical and Off-Road, because he let me use the workshop to put the canopy on. But pretty much every mod in this car is getting done by myself, or myself and Reese and that kind of stuff at his workshop, which is pretty cool. So the idea is all about DIY and that kind of thing. So you can put this canopy on yourself. It is recommended by Max Liner to obviously get it done by a professional installer. But if you've got a couple of hours in your day and, you know, a couple of people that can lift and help, you know, chuck it on the back for you, it's fairly easy. It's all plug and play for the 12-volt system and that kind of stuff, so it was fairly easy. But as I said, when you get professionally done, there are dealers that you can call up and they can chuck it on for you. But that's not what this build's about. This build's about DIY and doing things ourselves, and the 12-volt system is really going to test all my skills on making this thing, in my eyes, a pretty capable little tourer. So moving forward, as I said, 12-volt install coming. I've bought some gear off, actually I won't speak about it here, but I've bought a few little things off a company, and I'll talk about that in the video when it comes up. But it's going to be 2-way mounting brackets. There's going to be some stuff for the rear and a little panel and that kind of stuff for the rear section. which allows me to do all your, switches and lighting and that kind of stuff in the back, and a few other things. But I won't talk about that yet. I'll get into that video when we get into the 12-volt video install and that kind of stuff. But and then I've just literally been to Andy at Tyre Power in Treendale and ordered 5 times of the Falcon Wild Peak all-terrains. So I'm going to go Falcon Wild Peak all-terrains in a 285 65 18. So it'll be a 32.6 inch tyre. So look a little bit better than these little cheese graters here. But and if anything, I was just driving down this thing here, and yeah, the amount of grip they got wasn't great. I was doing the old slip down the yeah, fell into a rut. It wasn't fun. So yeah, I want to get some newer tires on it, put some more trains on it, so I can actually take this thing into a little bit of a harder, these are pretty prone to being staked, so I'm not too keen on taking them too far. So yeah, I want to take something that's a little bit tougher and sidewall and that kind of stuff. So they're on their way. They'll be coming in the next couple of weeks. And moving from there, there's a few other cool mods that are going to be coming. As I said, the draw system is going to be pretty sick. And I'm also going to do a video based on weights. So there'll be a video coming up in the future talking everything about weights, everything I put onto the car to the detail, and how much this thing is going to weigh at the end. So I'm trying to keep it around 2.6 tons. Let's see if we get there. But that's the plan anyway. So about 2.6 tons, which is pretty good because, that's without anyone in it. That's just the car. And that'd be pretty good because this thing was 2.298 from factory. So if I can get this thing to 2.6 ton, essentially I'll put 400 kilos in it, or, just over 300 kilos in it. And I'm going to be pretty happy with that. Mainly because fuel economy is not going to be affected. I'm not going to have to be stressed too much about suspension. So there might be maybe I have to do something in the rear around the leafs because I'm going to be putting a little bit of extra weight on it. So I might have to put some bigger leafs in the back, but I'm not going to have to stress too much about getting this thing raised back up and jacked up and putting a winch on the front. I'm just not keen on it. So evolving things, build and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, where it sits right now, I'm pretty damn happy with it, especially with the canopy and all the other cool stuff that I've done so far. So, if I don't see you in the next video, I might see you out here in the traction trails. If I don't see you in the traction trails, I shall see you later. Keep an eye out for the next video of this build, which will be the 12-volt video. And then we're going to do its maiden voyage after that 12-volt video and take it camping with the new rooftop tent. So, that'll be pretty cool. But as always, if I don't see you in the next video, guys, I shall see you later and enjoy your Sunday. Bye.